How's it going? All right. So when did you start coaching?
I started coaching my senior year of high school. I volunteered to coach a middle school team with one of my friends. We just knew some parents there, and they had asked us. And then I really started coaching high school my sophomore year of college. And then the summer after my sophomore year of college, I started coaching at a youth national level. So went to youth nationals that summer, and then the next year went to high school nationals.
Awesome. What is the most challenging part of coaching?
I think the most challenging part of coaching is being able to figure out how to personally interact with all the different players, because everybody learns differently, right? Everybody reacts differently to different types of coaching, and I think it's really important that you be malleable in the way that you coach, and that you change your style depending on the team and the player that you're talking to. And so I really enjoy just kind of like meeting new players, and then as I coach them, getting to find out what they respond best to and helping to bring out the best in them.
Awesome. What do you enjoy most about coaching?
Um, I think, but the personal relationships I've built over the years. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm playing against some of the guys that I've coached, and I would consider a lot of them like really some of my closest friends. And just being able to watch them build and grow and take things that I've taught them, take things that other people have taught them, and really like put them into practice. It really just makes me proud to see where they've gotten to. Right. So.
Yeah. What are some of the teams you have coached?
Yeah. So I coached Montessori Community my senior year of high school, middle school, and then I started coaching at Jordan High School. I have coached there for the last 3 years. And then we went to nationals the second year, and so after that I got invited to coach NC Hammer, which is a U16 team for the state of North Carolina, so kind of at that national level. And then in the summer I coach a club team called Brick House that I also play on.
Very cool. So who are some of your like coaching role models that you kind of just like gear your coaching values towards?
Yeah. The reason why I kind of got into coaching is Josh Green. He was my coach my freshman and sophomore year of high school. Really just inspirational guy, really positive, and really good at forming those personal bonds. And then I would say the coach that I really try to model myself after now is Saul Yannick. Another really positive guy, and one of the best ways that I think he connects with players is he really cares about every individual player and cares about their life outside of Frisbee, and then is really focused on doing what he can to take that information and then help mold them and become a better player on the field, right? So that's something that I try to strive for.
Cool. What are your future aspirations for coaching? It doesn't have to be coaching. It can just be like kind of like what job you want to go into, or just like higher levels you want to coach at.
Yeah. So I'm an education major right now. Trying to be a teacher, wrapping that up, getting ready to hopefully go into the field and begin teaching. So I think ideally I would be coaching and teaching at the same time. Kind of a big time commitment, but and then I'd someday I'd love to coach, getting into like a North Carolina team. So like one of the YCC, one of the youth club teams, or some kind of club team like that.
Awesome. What's your favorite level that you've coached at, and why?
I would say probably high school. It's definitely a different challenge because you have a lot of people that really haven't played the sport before. Like Frisbee's not a huge sport, and so not a lot of people have played it before high school. And so you get to really make an impact on them kind of fundamentally, and change the way that they kind of view the sport. But also it's really a time where I think they're looking for somebody to be a role model for them. And so the ability to just like personally connect with them, like I talked about, is I think really big at a high school level.
Can you talk to me about a tough scenario that you've encountered while coaching?
Yeah. 2 years ago, one of the kids, probably my most talented high schooler on our team, but was really not a head case, but really struggled to stay mentally focused. Really talented, but a lot of really struggled with some, being able to be confident in himself to play well. And so I think that's something that takes a lot of individual working with and talking after every point and talking at halftime and stuff, which is, I think, a really big challenge because it kind of takes you as a coach away from the rest of the team. But I was really blessed to have other coaches, assistant coaches with me who helped me, who could help me either focus in on him or focus on the larger picture. But it's hard when you have individual players who are not just robots in a system. They all have, mental struggles.
Yeah. How does your major of education affect your coaching or help it?
Yeah. One of the biggest things I've learned in an education major is that everyone learns differently, right? And that's pretty obvious on the outside. But like delving into and learning about different learning styles, being auditory and visual learners, and then the best way to interact with students and to actually help be role models and still be appropriate with them, right? Still be a authority figure. Just like the more experience you have around youth is always going to improve the way that you interact with them in the future.
Okay. How would you describe your coaching style?
Yeah, I think I am a really good individual coach. I think I do a really good job of speaking to players directly, and I sometimes struggle with the strategic big picture stuff, making adjustments and stuff like that, but I'm really good at pointing out individual, struggles and finding little spots where I can say, hey, you can do better about this. But I would say my coaching style is really positive centered and trying to bring people back and really focus in, because it's hard to be kind of that negative coach, especially when you're dealing with youth. It's just not always a healthy thing to do.
Yeah. How much time do you put into coaching outside of practice?
Right. Depends on the team. So, middle school, I was really only putting in 2 or 3 hours outside, just kind of practice planning. And then probably high school, I spend, I would say maybe 6 to 8 hours a week practice planning, watching film, drawing up plays, and then at the club level, probably even more than that, maybe 15 hours a week, just because it's so much little tweaks and it's less about fundamental teaching and more about giant overarching themes, right?
Yep.
And so you need to make sure that everyone's on the same page with that. So it's a lot of film breakdown and like communication with individual people. Logistics is really big at that level.
Okay. Could you see yourself coaching a different sport, and if you had to, which one?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the things that I really like about coaching is the individual relationships that you build and the ability to kind of impact that player, not only at that sports level, but also at their life level, right? And creating those relationships. So yeah, I think so. I think I would like to do soccer. There's a lot of that kind of individual feedback still. And a lot of the field spacing's the same, so hopefully my ultimate knowledge would transfer. But it's hard. I know a lot about Frisbee, so that's probably my niche.
Yeah, for sure. Lastly, what are some time management advice you could give me? Because I know obviously you have a busy schedule.
Right. I would say something I try to do at the beginning of every week is just make a list, and that's super simple, and I think everyone knows that. But just write down a list and prioritize things and say what needs to get done by certain days, and then what are things that are optionally need to be done. And a lot of times the optional things are probably more fun. So I try to sprinkle them in and mix it in. And if you can really just sit down and crank out a couple things for a couple hours, that's really big. It creates a lot of time for you so that you can spend more time with the players or with people that you care about.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Man. Thank you so much.